Imagine spending years in school, work late nights, take exams, and pay thousands of dollars in tuition, only to spend the next year sending out thousands of job proposals and hearing absolutely nothing back. For a lot of young Canadians, this isn't just a bad experience. It's becoming the new norm. The advice our parents grew up was simple. Work hard, get an education, and a good job will follow. But for many people graduating today, that promise feels broken. Housing prices are at record high, the cost of living keeps increasing, competitions for jobs seems to be worse than ever, and even positions labeled entry level often requires years of experience. So what happened? Today I'm going to share what I believe are the biggest reasons why Canadians are struggling to find a job, even with a college degree. Now, some of these points are highly controversial, but there are ongoing debate about where Canada's economy is going. Let's get into it. The first reason is Canada's education system. For decades, college and institutions were sold as an investment, as investments for your future. The message was simple: get a degree, and employers will line up to hire you. But that's not what many graduates are experiencing today. In my view, too many colleges have shifted their focus away from preparing students for the workforce and towards subjects that many employers don't prioritize. Students spend years studying, yet many graduate without practical experience, industry connections, or technical skills that many employers expect on day one. Meanwhile, businesses increasingly value certifications, portfolios, and real-world experience over simply holding a diploma. Some people also argue that universities have become increasingly focused on ideological discussions than on career preparations. Supporters of that approach say it encourages critical thinking and civic engagement. Critics believe it comes at the expense of practical skills that graduates need to succeed in the job market. Whether you agree with that criticism or not, many graduates feel unprepared for today's hiring environment. The result is college diplomas no longer has the advantages it used to. The second reason is population growth. Canada has welcomed record number of immigrants, including temporarily foreign workers and international students, over the past several years. Now, supporters argue this is necessary because of Canada's aging population and the demand for workers to support the economy. But there's another side of the discussion. If the number of people entering the labor market grows faster than the number of jobs being created, competition naturally increases. This doesn't mean newcomers are individually responsible for unemployment, but it means the labor market has become more competitive when labor supply grows faster than demand. Think about it this way. If one job receives 50 applicants, your odds are already limited. If that same job post receives 500 applicants, getting noticed becomes much harder. For employers, more applicants means they have greater choices. For workers, it can mean lowering bargaining power and more competition for entry-level positions. Whether someone supports current immigration levels or not, many economists believe that housing, infrastructure, and the job market are all being affected. The third reason is the economy itself. Jobs don't appear out of nowhere. Businesses create jobs when they're confident enough to expand. When companies are uncertain about the future, hiring is often one of the first things they slow down. Canada has faced slower productivity growth than many comparable countries in the recent years, and business investment has been stagnated as well. That doesn't mean there are no job opportunities, but it can mean fewer job opportunities for those who are looking to work. At the same time, many Canadians feel squeezed by high housing prices and inflation. When consumers spend less money, businesses often become more cautious. Instead of opening new locations or hiring new staffs, they may freeze hiring and focus on cutting costs. That creates a difficult environment for graduates trying to enter the workforce. Now, the fourth reason is probably the most controversial out of all. Many companies have introduced diversity and inclusive policies, often labeled as DEI. Supporters argue these policies help address barriers that have historically affected certain groups. Some argue that DEI policies places a greater emphasis on the workforce and making it harder for newcomers to find jobs. From that perspective, they believe hiring should solely base on skills, experience, and merit. This debate has become increasingly visible in Canada and other Western countries, with some organizations even expanding DEI hiring, while others scaled back and reversed them. Whatever your view is, it's an issue that many job seekers are discussing today and is critical to the hiring process. The fifth reason is something that doesn't get talked about enough. Some successful Canadians, including entrepreneurs, doctors, engineers, and other highly skilled professionals, have chosen to relocate to other countries in search of better tax environment, larger markets, or greater business opportunities. Now, people often call this the brain drain. When experienced professionals and business founders leave, they don't just take their own careers with them. They can also take investments, mentorship, hiring opportunities, and professional networks. Networking has always been one of the most effective ways to find a job. If fewer businesses are expanding and experienced leaders are building their companies elsewhere, that may reduce job opportunities for new graduates, making it harder for them to be employed. And that's pretty much about it. I don't think there's a single answer. In my view, it's a combination of several factors happening at the same time. Whether you agree with all of these points or just some of them, one thing is clear. Many Canadians feel that the traditional promise of get a degree and you'll find a good job is no longer as reliable as it once seemed. The question now is what changes, if any, would improve the situation.